definitely the Gladiator Pit. You see people will win and lose fights in the back waiting for their fight to get called. Because if you're not mentally strong, you're watching motherfuckers get knocked out who came in there and you saw him smiling all week, confident as fuck, and you watch him get head kicked and put to sleep in front of everybody, hear the crowd go, oh. We on?
We're on, man. What's up, guys? It's Kyle with another episode of Unlocking InnerStrength. Got two special guests here today. We got Mickey Gall. Thanks for being here, Mick.
My pleasure, bro. It's about time we made this thing happen.
To make it happen for a while.
I was like, no Zoom. No Zoom. We got to do it in person, get the connectivity on point. And we got I'll introduce my boy over here. We got LJ Reboli, the future champ. And me and LJ, I can speak for both of us, we're very competitive guys. We're very polite, but very competitive. So who's been the best podcast? Who are we beating today?
Yeah.
Who are we about to defeat for the best podcast?
You guys have seen.
Who do you guys think? I saw you had David Adiv on.
Yeah, we had David on. That was over Zoom.
That's over Zoom, though, so it shouldn't be too tough for us to overtake that, even though David's a legend.
Yeah, man.
But
what do you guys think?
What do you guys think? What's the best pod?
Who's the best guy you guys had on?
That's a good one.
Because he's fucking going down.
Cowboy Keith.
Cowboy Keith. Sorry, Cowboy Keith. You about to be number 2, dog.
2 now.
Yeah, he did, man. That was good. So let's hop into it. We'll see where the hell this goes. So tell us where you're at right now, Mick, with the back and everything going on with you.
So I got back surgery in December. Got like a microdiscectomy. I've been fucking fighting with a broken back for the past 3 years. Trying to get shots, trying to, do other things to mitigate it, but it got to a point where I couldn't sit down like I'm doing right now without being like in excruciating pain. So I got the surgery in December. I think I'm like 90% the way back now, 95%, just finishing off a couple things. I've been smart to take it incrementally, and I think I'm going to, make my UFC return in December.
Nice.
That's the plan.
That'd be awesome. It's AC, man. I'll be there if it's an AC.
Hell yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be dope, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What about you, LJ? What's next for the fighting?
Me? I'm trying to fight ASAP, and then, probably one more fight, and I think I'll get that contract, whether go on Contenders or go to the UFC, but, I'm ready for the next step. Man, I'm ready for the best guys in the world.
Yeah.
I was saying before, it's like, if LJ's a 6'3", about to be a 145-pounder, and, like, if tomorrow they were like, all right, LJ's got Volkanovski in 6 weeks, right? Like most people who wouldn't be signing UFC would be like, oh man, he's gonna fucking kill him. If they told me that right now they had that fight, I'd be like, all right, we got a tough one in our hands, but we can win this fucking shit.
No doubt,
that's the number 1 pound for pound guy right there. That just speaks to LJ's fucking, how legit he is. And people will see. So it's cool that, getting to shed some light on him here now, and then the fans of the podcast will be like, I saw that kid before he was even in the UFC.
Man. Obviously, I don't know the fight game like you guys, but me and Mikey always talk about it, man. Like, LJ could be the world champ, man.
100%.
Yes, sir. I will be. I will be, without a doubt.
100%.
You got the fire.
Yes, sir.
So and like Mickey said, you got the unique build. I mean, that's a big thing with athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have a lot of unique attributes going for me. You know what I mean?
Mustache.
You got the mustache right now. It won't stay for long, but I got it right now. Depends on how good I train is next week. I might have to keep it. But,
nice.
I think I definitely have a lot of, same with Mick too, but we have a lot of unique attributes. We're long, we're tall, you know what I mean? We're fast, strong. If you name any attribute, we're in good shape, everything. You know what I mean? We have everything under the umbrella. You know what I mean? So we don't have any holes in our game, really. You know what I mean?
That's key.
And that's, without holes in your game, you become a tough puzzle to beat.
Yeah. Sure. How did you guys become boys?
Shit, we started training at Gracie, New Jersey. I was 16 and he was 13.
Okay.
We trained probably about a week or two apart. Like we both joined the same time. So we've been brothers ever since then.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a cool, man, because we got most of your regular friends, in school and everything, they don't do what we do.
Yeah.
So we had that connection that we loved martial arts right from the get-go. And that kind of made our bond a little bit tighter. Of course, we're going to battle with each other for, plus 10 years now. So that only brings you closer as friends and brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different kind of relationship than a person, you just hang out with on the regular.
Big time,
they say blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. So like you could have a brother from the same womb, from the same mother, but that when you prepare for war, spill blood together in battle, like that bond you get that's why he's my brother. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like my realest brother.
That's
great,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to explain for people that don't understand it, but those people that do martial arts and, live their life like warriors, they understand what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's
awesome, man.
Yeah. We're lucky. I'm lucky to have him, guide me through my career. I'm really lucky. You know what I mean?
And David's been obviously a huge force in both of your lives.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, he's been our mentor since we were little kids. Yeah. So we love him. He's like another father to us. You know what I mean?
David's good, man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We love him.
Yeah, no, shout out David Adeve. He's the best. He's like, he kind of breeds a unique type of killer.
Yeah.
With him, you know what I mean? Like he's not a rah and like even a mean guy in any sense. He's the kindest guy in the world, but he makes fucking killers.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He makes samurais. Like
I love it.
And we're both students and sons of his.
Yeah. And he I love when I a lot of times me and him will just get to talking about like philosophy and stuff when we go down the rabbit hole. Man, he's fascinating.
Yeah, and what's funny is he'll be like, "It's not philosophy, it's science. Philosophy is guessing. This is facts."
He's great,
I love that.
He's great.
No, he has a very unique perspective on life. You know what I mean? And when you listen to him talk, it kind of opens your mind to be more open to other things. You know what I mean? It's a very unique perspective of life, and I've learned so much from the guy. We all have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, man.
Tremendous. But yeah, we, LJ and David, they've been with me through my, my whole UFC tenure.
When did you enter the UFC? What year?
I think like 2016.
2016.
Yeah. So I had a regional fight. LJ, David, I think Billy D were in my corner. It was my first pro fight, and then Dana White ended up being there, and he was filming this show called Looking for a Fight, but we didn't know anything. Like, but I heard Dana was gonna be there, so I was like, you know what? How do I turn Dana's not gonna be at my second regional fight, So how do I make the most of this? I was like, I'll toss up a Hail Mary. I'll call out CM Punk, this professional wrestler who they just signed, who had 0 fights. So I was like, I'll be a 1-0 fighter. He's an 0-0 fighter. That fight could, potentially logistically happen, right? But I was like, fuck it. I'm tossing up a Hail Mary. Probably nothing happens. They end up. A couple months later, me and my dad are watching, I think it was like a Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler, Carlos Condit fight. And they show a commercial, and the whole fucking commercial was about me. Right? It was about me, calling him out.
I remember that.
Wow. Everyone's blowing up my phone.
That was gonna be on?
We didn't know shit. I was trying to book my next regional fight, right? And we're recording the TV screen because it's me on there. It was super surreal. Wild. My face is all over the UFC pay-per-view. And I was just a 1-0, regional fighter. And then I end up signing, later that I talk a little shit on Twitter to CM Punk. And then they signed me hey, if you beat this guy, fight in 2 weeks. If you beat this guy, you can fight CM Punk. So I signed right away. And then I beat that guy in 2 weeks out in Vegas.
That was UFC.
Yeah. Beat him in 45 seconds, just dropped him, choked him. And they brought CM Punk in the cage. We had a stare down, and then it was off to the races.
That's great, man.
Mick, I don't know what you think about this, but this is what I think personally. The whole looking for a fight thing, I think that whole show was originally made to find a fight for CM Punk. And then when you called him out in the second episode,
they were
crap, the show's done.
Good
but I truly believe that. I believe that they made looking for a fight, right? The name. Well, I believe they were looking for a fight.
They were trying to prop him up.
I believe that's why they were coming to all these regional shows. They were looking for a guy, what made sense, And then second episode, Mickey calls him out, and they're like, "Oh, we got our guy."
And I agree with you. I do think that was what they were going to do. That he was going to turn his show into, he was going to get this big pub with the professional wrestler, blah, blah, blah. It seemed so obvious to me. It seemed so apparent. I thought there was going to be 10 other guys calling out this professional wrestler. They did a show the night before in AC, and then we had my fight was in Philly. And I was like, I'm going to be the 10th guy to this. There's no way it's going to work for me. No one else fucking did it.
There's so many lessons in that. You just took the shot, man. Like you said, the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Never know, man.
Throw it up.
Yeah. Look what you probably would have wound up in the UFC, but that path, man. Take a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's also kind of to finish what you said. That's what people don't. He would have been in the UFC in another year from then, regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was going to be where he's at now, regardless of whether he got that CM Punk fight or not. You know what I mean?
That same, man. Take a chance to get a chance.
Exactly, right?
Take a chance,
but
man.
but it helped me kind of separate myself a little bit, not just be just another fighter, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was able to kind of get fame and eyeballs on me.
When we were up in Connecticut, we were telling Steve Orozco, I said, Mickey, and he goes, yeah, no. He goes, you fought CM Punk, right? So he knew, this guy knew. That was the first thing he said.
Everybody who follows the UFC knows who he is. If you don't know him, you're not an MMA fan. You know what I mean? You're not.
Talking about CM.
Yeah, Mickey.
Mickey.
If you don't know who he is,
one because of the other. Probably. You know what I mean?
And what about have you ever talked to CM Punk after that?
I saw him at like the CFFC show. Like he does a commentary for them. But all cordial.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool, man. What's it like getting into the ring, guys? Like when you actually go for a fight.
It's the best feeling in the world. It's like very primal, It's truly, like a gladiator walking into the Coliseum.
That was the word I was going to use. The Gladiator Pit.
It's very primal, and to me, it's the highest level of competition. Period.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, if we're back in the day, and we had a pile of gold sitting over there, and you wanted it, and I wanted it. We're not going to say, oh, let's go play a soccer game over it. Let's go play a base. I'm going to try to kill you, and you're going to try to kill me. That's how we're going to find out who gets the pile of gold over here. So it's to me, it's the most primal form of competition. It's the peak of competition in my eyes.
And are there any thoughts as you're actually walking into the ring when you're walking out?
Yeah, you're thinking everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
All these thoughts, all these things are going through your head. But then, for me personally, I can't speak for other people. Once I start walking, I'm zoned in. I'm zoned in. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm in the zone. Everything's slow motion. I'm in the zone. Can't hear anything. So that's what my experiences are like.
That's great. Man.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think that was a great way of putting it. It's definitely the Gladiator Pit. You see people will win and lose fights in the back waiting for their fight to get called. Because if you're not mentally strong, you're watching motherfuckers get knocked out who came in there and you saw him smiling all week, confident as fuck. And you watch him get head kicked and put to sleep in front of everybody, hear the crowd go, oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the people, the bloodthirsty people screaming for that blood in the pit. Then it's your turn to make that walk. You make the walk. That already shows you got balls.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It takes balls to make the walk. People quit in the back. I could tell you so many. I won't because you keep it. But there's high level guys who cry in the back, say I don't want to go. Say I'm gonna get knocked out. This that, and people quit.
Yeah,
and sometimes people reluctantly go, and they it shows that they're fighting scared. But the fucking juice is so worth the squeeze when you get out there and you get to do your thing, and you're like you have the mindset where you're ready to kill and die. This guy's a trained killer, and he's coming here to kill me. I'm a trained killer. I'm coming to kill him. So it makes you very present and very in the moment. Because if you're not thinking about, oh, I didn't, pay my bills last week or whatever. No, you're tunnel vision. Ideally, like LJ said, you're in the zone. You're in that flow state. That's where you want to be. You don't want to be hearing much. You know what I mean? You just want to have that focus. And then when you win the fight, there's nothing you could smoke, snort, shoot, or swallow to give you that rush, that fucking adrenaline rush, and that relief, all of that. Like it's all your hard work, all your dreams realized in front of a screaming bunch of people, and you just conquered another man. You know what I mean? It's heavy.
So awesome, man. Is there a ritual that you guys have pre-fight to try to get into that zone? Is it certain music? Is there meditation, or is it just like what's the pre-game ritual? The pre-fight ritual, is there anything? For me,
no. For me, I like to get a good warm-up in, smack some pads hard, you know what I mean? And me, I've been a competitor my whole life. When it's time to compete, I know how to compete. Yeah. You know what I mean? For that, that's just something I've always known since I was young. When it's time to compete, I know how to compete. So there's no, I don't have to do any stupid superstition or anything. Nothing. I think that's, people who are scared in a way. Sure. You know what I mean?
Kind of comes from weakness.
Yeah, it comes from weakness, I believe. You know what I mean? So, but whether I take my hands a certain way or do a couple of certain steps, like superstitious, as some people do, I'm not a big believer in that. I don't believe there's any logic to that.
If a couple goofy steps are gonna make you win or lose, you probably, If that's gonna make the difference, you probably, didn't have enough to begin with.
Didn't prepare enough.
But back to what Mickey was saying, a lot of guys do win or lose fights 15 minutes before they're about to make that walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, when you're in the locker room, when you're about to make that walk, you see the ambulance, the doctors, the guys who were just in the locker room with you, who are walking back out.
Or in there all confident, the fucking bravado and the man, and then they're coming out, I can't believe what happened.
Yeah. Then they're walking out with broken noses and cuts, bleeding everywhere. Where they 15 minutes ago, they were the same guy as you in the locker room warming up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely, a mental game. You know what I mean? And only the strongest will survive.
And does the thought ever cross you guys' mind of as far as like, man, I'm going in here and, it could be severe injury. Like, do you even allow that to enter your head?
Not really. I think you're worried more about not performing to your potential. You're worried about not doing all that you can do, not showing what you are. Pain, I don't feel pain when I'm fighting. I feel pain the next day.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I don't feel no pain when I'm into that. Whether it's the adrenaline or what, I feel almost zero. Anything like I've described it before, like if you're like getting hit, you're almost like, all right, it's like my battleship's taking impact. You know what I mean? I need to take in that information and adjust accordingly. But it's not like I'm like, ouch, that hurts.
Yeah.
Never.
Don't feel it.
Yeah. So no, I don't think any type of pain. I'm resigned to the fact that I'm willing to die. You know what I mean? And that's where you find like peace, and shit gets very fucking simple.
Yeah.
It's like that. You're so present. You find that like, my objective is to go kill. I'm going to go beat the shit out of this guy till the ref drags me off, or I'm going to die trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I pain or injury, no, that doesn't even cross my mind.
No, same. It doesn't cross your mind.
I knew he was going to have the same
There's
answer.
a goal. There's a goal in mind. The goal is to win. Whether you break a hand, whether your nose is broken, the goal is the same regardless. It doesn't matter what kind of physical pain or injuries you're going through. The goal remains the same. And you have to get that goal done regardless of how you feel.
Yeah.
Whether you feel good, whether you feel bad, you have to go accomplish that goal regardless.
Yeah, stay
and that's the difference of champions and not champions.
Yeah.
Is that focus on the goal, and no matter what happens in between, you just stay consistent on reaching that goal.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's a fascinating psychology.
It's
Absolutely.
the ultimate sport. It's the ultimate sport. Like you said, what did you say before when you're talking about the pile of gold?
Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There's no more pure form of competition.
Yeah.
If you want something and I want something, we're not going to go play soccer over it or go play foosball over it or, any sport you want. If you really want something, I really want something, we're going to fight over it.
Yeah.
And something that I think is really cool about, like people will say to me like, wow, you're like so nice for a fighter, right? Like they think like fighters are like these like savage like meatheads or something. Most fighters are good guys, and I would also say that the biggest killers have like the biggest hearts. Like the people who are capable of doing the most violence are also capable of the most love. It's that antithesis. There's like that balance to it, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't fight just because I want to be the fucking man at the bar, I want to fight because I want to make money for my family. I don't want to let my family down. I want to support my unborn kids, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also the fact that like as fighters, like the difference in the sport is like we're forced to confront reality. Same thing with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You're forced to confront reality. If someone has me in a choke and I have to tap, I'm like, all right, that person could have killed me there. So I need to obviously adjust something that I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I make a change. It gives people healthy egos.
Yeah.
It gives you, anyone who walks in the gym for your first time, whether it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, anything, almost everyone in that room could whoop your ass because they have techniques. They basically have a superpower over you. They understand how to manipulate a human body and, to defeat it.
Yeah.
It's very humbling for people. Like we've seen people who think, they're the man walk in and they walk out completely broken.
Oh, yeah.
They're literally, their philosophy on life changes about themselves.
Yeah.
Like they're like, wow, I'm not the man. There's other dudes that could do some serious stuff to me where I didn't even think. I would look at them and I would never believe it.
Yeah.
So it's a very humbling process. When you see so many guys walk in the gym thinking they're the man, then they walk out a half hour later and they're completely shattered as a human. The ego is completely shattered.
Yeah.
But then they keep going and it's empowering. It builds them back up. They
If they keep
realize,
going.
Yeah, if they keep going. A lot of times that's but I would say for the most part, and like if you go to Gracie, New Jersey, you're gonna be gently like taught and defeated with love.
Yeah, at a
You know
good
what I mean?
school, you'll be taken care of and you'll be built
Yeah.
like at Gracie, New Jersey, you'll be built up the
sure.
proper way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, but if you're complete, you know, wackadoo though, you know, you're not gonna last long.
No.
You know, we've seen
It
it time and
sifts
time
out. It
again.
sifts out the people whose egos are so out of check that they're just like, fuck this, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be at that place because that place made me feel not strong
Yeah.
at that moment. But eventually, like you know what it is. The more
Yeah.
you go, the more stronger you feel.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
And I find it very meditative. I think it's something that every guy should do. I always say some
Everybody.
type of fighting.
I think men and women. I
Women
think
too,
women should
man.
learn jujitsu to be able to protect themselves
Yeah.
if there isn't a man there to protect them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
think it's great.
Fighting is a life skill. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it
It's
is.
like being able to ride a bike or swim in the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, you never know when
It
somebody's
is,
gonna
man.
attack. Fighting is a life skill.
Dude,
you know,
I said that forever, man. When we go to Wilkie's for self-defense, and I said, that was exactly it. What if you're out one time and I don't know how to defend myself and I'm with my family? It's all it takes is one time.
you could die in one shot.
And you can regret it forever.
Yeah. You know, you could get punched one time and you could be dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't know how to brace
You don't
yourself
know.
and defend yourself.
And most dudes are going to panic if they've never been punched or been choked. They get put in that situation, they're just going to lose their mind.
Yeah. And it goes to that as well. In, any situation throughout life, it makes everything a lot easier. You know what I mean? Because nothing's going to be worse than a guy on top of you trying to cave your head in. You know what I mean? Like it makes everyday life seem so much easier.
Yeah.
Like you see people who don't train and all these small little tasks seem so hard to them where we look at it as nothing. You know what I mean?
it should
We've
be
been to the deep end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important, like you said, I think everybody should be involved in some capacity. First of all, it's not really a much more fun way to work out than like be able to wrestle around and throw
play,
punches
man.
and you get to hit some pads hard and stuff. It's play, it's fun. And while learning an important life skill. I love what you said about swimming in the ocean or something like that. Like
It's
what I
a
mean?
life skill, like being able to swim or drive a car or, anything. It's a real life skill. One of the most important ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah. And the confrontation with the truth. It gives you, if there's so many people lie to themselves in this world, you know what I mean? They're either being lied to and believing it, or they're lying to themselves easily. Like, it's just this and that, make excuses. You know what I mean? You kind of makes you face yourself in a way. You know what I mean? It makes you face the truth, confront the truth. You become a real person. Like everyone wants like a real person, not like a fakes. You know what I mean? It kind of sifts out the fakes too.
Yeah,
I found
there's no lying in martial arts. You know what I mean? In martial arts, you get the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a pretender, it's gonna show.
you lie to
know what I
yourself,
mean?
you're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
The truth always comes out on the mats and in the cage. The truth comes out.
Yeah,
No matter what you say, no matter what you think, the truth will come out.
For sure, man. And I gotta give you credit, LJ, too. With, you're a great teacher over there.
Oh shit.
It's great.
Thank you. I appreciate
Bro,
it.
he's like we said, he's like my little brother.
Yeah.
But he's been like a coach to me as well, along with David. Like he's been in my corner for damn near all my fights. If anyone's looking to learn some martial arts, get in touch with LJ somehow, and he'll make you into a killer like really quickly.
Yeah.
Like he's so talented. He's as talented as a teacher as he's a fighter.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's so rare.
Yeah.
It's so rare to see. It's like I'm like getting
awesome.
goosebumps just talking about it, because it's like you're gifted, bro. It's
Yeah.
just one of your gifts, man. It's very gifted like that.
And he understands anatomy and mechanics and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah.
Every day I'm trying to learn things for myself. And I love learning things to better myself, and I love passing on that knowledge to help better other people. I think it's a good deed in this world. There's nothing more I love than hearing about a kid getting bullied, and me teaching him, helping him for a couple months, and then he's able to stand up for himself. Or just giving it to regular business people, just to be able to give them more confidence about themselves. I love both aspects of being able to better myself and being able to pass it on and better other people. That's why I love teaching as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. I always joke with Mikey, who's our good friend, that when
Love
LJ's
him.
done fighting, Mikey's a great.
Yeah, we love Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep saying I'm gonna get LJ coaching at the gym because you understand the mechanics, man.
Appreciate it.
That's the hardest thing for coaches in the strength and conditioning, they should be able to look and say, okay, your arm is this way, or your hips got to do this. But I see you do it when you're teaching over there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got to get you. Me and Mikey. Speaking of Mikey, shout out to Mikey Cortez. But we were saying we got to get you boxing, do some striking. Yeah, you got to come with me and Mikey. Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Mikey's been boxing his whole life. He's a good boxer.
I know he is.
He's a good boxer.
I remember hearing stories about Mikey. I think they called him Crazy Mikey back in the day.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he's got some good stories.
Yeah, man. I remember people telling me like, yeah, Mikey used to fuck people up.
Yeah. You're getting a lot of fights, man. Yeah, he's told
nicest
me
guy in the world.
He's great.
Too. Same thing where it's like that antithesis.
Yeah, he's great, man. He's cool because I only met him through jiu-jitsu. But so what, 3 years? I know him now. Yeah, before we became buddies. But he kind of fits right in with like the guys I grew up with, which is cool.
Where'd you grow up?
Hillsboro.
Okay.
Yeah, Hillsboro. Right. But my a lot of my buddies are ball busters and all that. But Mikey, he grew up close. He was in North Plainfield, that area. So we know a lot of mutual people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been an awesome friend.
I'm from Greenbrook, right between.
Yeah, you're right. You went to Watchung.
Yeah,
right?
Watchung Hills. Yeah.
I don't know if I ever told you. My dad for years managed the O'Connor Steakhouse before it closed.
Okay.
It was in Watchung. I don't know if you remember
up the mountain.
Up the mountain.
Yeah.
So we all worked there growing up.
Oh no shit. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Prime rib. Yeah, so we worked there. I started at dishwashing, busboy, all that. But we were there until it closed, man.
Yeah.
Up in Watchung. It's always up there all the time.
Yeah, in the jungle.
Yeah.
Up in the mountains.
Yeah, it's
in,
nice
in the
area.
woods.
It is. Yeah, I had an uncle. My Uncle Peach grew up in Watchung Hills. And you have everything there. You have great food. You know, there's a lot of things around.
For sure, man.
I like it up there.
Very nice. So let's transition over to LJ. I know Mickey was telling me, if you don't mind talking about today's a special anniversary for you. Right?
Yes.
So you kind of, it's the day your mother passed.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if we call that a special anniversary.
Special, I think it's special, man.
Congratulations, bud.
Hey, I'm sure you remember every day, but
absolutely, I'm sure
this day.
So, today is always, it's August 23rd, and it's also shout out to my cousin Henny. It's his birthday, as well. So, it was also the day my mother passed away, and growing up, me and her were the closest people. We were close. She was always the biggest fan of mine. Whatever I did, she was there.
How long ago? How old were you when she passed?
I was 20.
20.
Yeah, right. So about 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's crazy to say that because it feels like yesterday. It feels like yesterday. And it's
was it cancer?
Yeah, she had colon cancer. Okay. Yeah, colon and liver.
So when did she find out she had that?
She about a year before. So I remember coming home from high school one day, and my car broke down on the side of the road, and I had my dad and uncle come pick me up, and my car, I had a Cadillac, and it literally froze on me, and I ran off the side of the road. So I'm like, Dad, I need you to pick me up. He picked me up, and everybody was at my house. Everybody was acting like really weird. Honestly, I thought they were having an intervention for me for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know why, but I thought I was in trouble or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is everybody acting so weird? And my father told me, he was like, your mom has cancer, on the way home. And, I started crying in the car.
Sure.
From that point on, my life completely had a pivot point.
Sure.
From the moment I found out she had cancer, completely made a pivot point, And then about a year later, it was an aggressive cancer, and she passed away. You know what I mean? And that, of course, will flip your world upside down. And when I think something like that happens to you, you lose your best friend in the world. So when that happens, it's either gonna make the best out of you or it's gonna make the worst out of you.
Yeah.
And I chose to make it the best for me. You know what I mean? I allowed that to motivate me, to allow that to focus me. I wanted to be the man that she always wanted me to become, and at that point in my life, I wasn't going in that direction, and then when all that stuff went down, it was very clear for me, and it was an eye-opening experience because you realize, at a young age, that this experience of life is not going to last forever. You know what I mean? It's going to end, what I mean? So it drew a very clear picture for me of what I want to be and what I want to accomplish through my time here in life.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so that's, I made the worst thing in my life, into a positive thing. You know what I mean? Of course, I would love to have her here with me.
Sure.
But I feel like I grew a lot from it, and I feel like the person I am now is totally different from that person, before.
It's like a parallel reality.
Exactly, it is, So I allowed it to motivate me, and it still motivates me every day.
I can speak for you. Were always a great kid. But yeah, I liked how you said like kind of that that almost like that fire could either burn you up and it could destroy you, or you can harness that and that could be your energy source.
Yeah.
For positive change.
Heck yeah.
You know. And yeah, I couldn't be more proud of who you are and how you responded. I was there that day.
Yeah, he was
there.
passed. Yeah,
The day she passed.
We were supposed to go to a jiu-jitsu tournament in Boston, and we woke up that morning. We were packing our stuff. We were ready to go, and then my neighbor knocked on my door. I'm like, what the heck? And she's just like, you have to stay home. Don't go to Boston. You know what I mean? Your mom's coming home. And we knew that was bad. And so she arrived in an ambulance.
So she was in the hospital.
Probably. Yeah, she was so I believe she was in the hospital, or she was at one of my aunts, but she was like an hour away.
Sure.
And then she came home, and the whole family got together that weekend, and my family is like the closest thing to me. All my cousins, my aunts and uncles, and we sat around her, and we were with her till her last moments, and he was there too, and that's another thing, I can't thank him enough for. Yeah, exactly. Like the only person who's not in my family who was there, on that day.
What So she knew the time was limited. You guys knew like there was no hope.
Yeah, I remember one day my dad came home and he was just like, your mom only has a couple months or whatever. You know what I mean? And
wild.
Yeah. So, it was obviously a tough pill to swallow. I remember, and the next morning I went up to go train. You know what I mean? I remember I was just crying my whole way to training, like my whole body was shaking, you know what I mean? And then and me and my mother, to be honest with you, we had some of our best moments at her worst.
Yeah.
She was at Sloan Kettering in New York. And I remember just going up there, sitting in the hospital all day with her, and we would laugh and we would joke, and we had truly some of my best memories. And we had so many good memories.
Sure.
But that speaks to her as a person of how positive she was at such a dark time.
Yeah.
Like she knew she was going to die. And she was still so positive because she didn't want to bring that on me.
Yeah.
I actually have a story about the strength of her. There was when she was dealing with this, she was so weak and she couldn't open a bottle cap, open a water bottle like this, right?
She was very weak. She couldn't open a water.
His father, Big Lar, he had a heart attack in the basement
During this.
Yeah, while she was upstairs in her room, she was very weak, could barely stand, could barely open a water bottle. She couldn't open a water bottle.
And he had like a severe heart attack, and
he was lifting weights in the basement. Yeah,
so
my dad. Yeah, he's a beast, but he was lifting
yeah.
heavy weights in the basement. He was using the neck harness.
Yeah,
and he was pumping out his neck. And all of a sudden, my mother heard a big crash. So she yelled down to him. She didn't hear an answer. So then she got up out of bed, walked downstairs, which was that in itself was hard for her, right?
Yeah.
Walked all the way to the basement, saw my dad face first, in the basement, flipped him over, gave him CPR, called 911. A helicopter flew like a block from our house. They put him in the medevac.
Okay.
Yeah. They shipped him to St. Luke's Hospital. The whole time I was there, I was cornering him for one of his fights, for one of his amateur fight. Yeah. And I got a call from my Uncle Peach, and he's like, we have to go see your dad. So I had to leave. That was the one fight of his I ever missed.
Is that right?
And we were in the locker room warming up, and I had to go.
I remember.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I know just from choking like people out, when you have to like roll over their like kind of like their you call it dead weight.
Dead weight's
It's very heavy.
Dead weight is totally
and she
different.
couldn't lift but was able to turn over your father, who's 250 pounds or so.
Yeah.
Right. Roll him over, save his life, get in there. Unbelievable story.
That is
like,
crazy.
it's like when you hear about a mother lifting off a van to like save her kids, like lifting a van up, like
it was one of those moments.
Strength, man.
It was one of those moments, And then my dad got to the hospital, and he had like a 1 in 100% chance of survival. Like whatever kind of heart attack he had, like very few people. Widowmaker, exactly. With very few people survived that. I remember my uncle said he looked at the data, and he was just like, he just shook his head. It was like a very few chance, and he ended up making it, So she was seconds away from saving his life or not, in that moment.
How long?
She did.
How long was that before your mother passed?
It's probably, I'm estimating probably around 6 months.
6 months.
I'd say, yeah. So that was I had both of my parents in and out of the hospital. I could have lost them both that year. You know what I mean? And I had a dog that died that year. So in that 1 year, there was a lot of growing up for me. There was a lot of growing up, and I think that would have broken a lot of people. and sent them down the wrong path, you know. But for me, I chose to
You went the other
elevate
way.
me,
Yeah.
you know. And still every day I choose to try to be elevated and motivated by things like that,
Yeah, man.
you know. So
Do
it's very powerful motivation for me.
you feel your mother with you often?
Every day,
Yeah.
you know, every day.
That's cool.
Yeah. We were best friends, you know, and I feel her with me every day.
That's great.
Even when I think about my future, you know,
She gives you guidance.
I picture her in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
So
cool.
it's it's a very interesting experience, you know.
What was it like when she passed? Helping your father with the grieving process. Would he kind of go do his own thing, or would you guys kind of grieve? Like, what was that like?
You know, to be honest, me and my father grew much closer. You know, growing up, me and my father had a very good relationship. We always had a good relationship, but you know, he was very hard on me growing up. You know what I mean? In a good way, only tough love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tough love, you know, makes champs. You know, and I'm nothing but grateful for him for that. But when she passed away, he took more into that role of being, you know, close with me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so that really, we grew much tighter, you know, when she passed away.
it's
you know what I
fun-
mean?
it's
And now
fun
he's like
seeing
one of
you
my
guys.
best friends, you know?
It's fun seeing you guys together.
Yeah.
You
It's
know, when
like,
it comes to the gym.
it's like my big roommate, you know?
Yeah, it's fun, man.
I
Yeah.
love Big Larry. He's the best.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Yeah.
You talk training with him when he comes down.
Yeah. He
Talk
knows
about
the
Louis
stuff.
Simmons and
Oh,
stuff.
He
loves
loves
it.
Louis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He loves it.
it's good, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
man.
I appreciate
Yeah, man, that's
you allowing
heavy,
me
bro,
to
yeah.
talk to it, you know?
Yeah.
Allowing me to talk about it.
That's impactful, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I
You
think
never
that's going to
know,
be
man.
good for people to hear who, you know, either has someone, you know, who has passed, is kind of in that pivotal spot, you know, like everyone, it's one of the most unfortunate parts of life that everyone you know, everyone you love, we're all going to fucking die.
Everybody, man.
And it's, you know what I mean? We all are. And so we're all either going to see people we love pass or until it's us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's also, it's a good reminder to,
Great
you know,
reminder.
live for today, because tomorrow's not promised, you know?
It's not. I mean, I've asked my wife before. I'm like, would you, in that situation, would you want to know that you only got a year left? Because you might walk out, like you said, and get hit by a truck. And you had no, like, because there's a different sense of urgency when you kind of, if everybody could live with that, you know, that, hey, I'm going to die. Or,
That
hey,
memento mori thing, that
Yeah.
remember death.
that's it, man.
That's my screensaver.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to think.
That's
of,
my leg
Memento
tattoo
mori.
too.
Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. I got to think of marbles. I do it on every Monday. And this is like 12 years ago, I calculated how many weeks I had left if I make it to 85. And I bought that many marbles. I put them in a red bucket, then I got a blue bucket. Then every week I'd take one from the red bucket and I put it in the blue bucket. And now the blue bucket, you know,
Whoa.
there's like that many at the bottom now, which is weird, man.
Wow.
And I see it. I do it every week.
Wow.
But it's just a
How
reminder.
long have you been doing that for?
Probably 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It sits right. My wife and my mom were like, that's so morbid. I said, it's a reminder, though.
Yeah,
it is morbid,
yeah.
but
It
life's morbid. You know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
It's
It reminds
reality.
me, you know?
Otherwise,
reality.
you know, we like put our head in the sand and like think
Think you got
about our
forever,
little
yeah.
bullshit problems. Really, when you think about in terms of that, like we're not gonna be here forever.
You aren't. Yeah, you got a very small amount of time to leave your mark. You know?
Yeah.
And even then, man, I always say if your great grandkids are still talking about you, had a huge impact.
Yeah.
Because how many people talk about their great grandkids? They probably didn't even know them, most people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
You know, that's something I was talking about with someone the other day. And, you know, we live one of the most interesting times for that. You know, it was like for people like us, our great grandkids, our great great grandkids will be able to look us up on the internet and
Yeah.
kind of have an idea
They'll
of
be
who we
listening
are.
to this
They'll
right
be
now.
listening to
That's
this,
true,
our
yeah.
great grandkids,
That's
you
true.
know? Well, I don't even know what my great grandfather looked like, you
Yeah,
know?
same.
But they'll be able to look us up and be able to hear us talk.
Yeah.
And be able to watch us do things, watch us fight, watch us train. You know, so I think it's very interesting to think about the modern time
It is.
in that how, you know, our great grandkids will get to watch us somehow. You know, we won't even know them.
Yeah. It's it, man. I've told Devin, you know, so Devin's my wife. You know, I said, you know, whenever I pass, I said, I want you like make it like a celebration, but have like, when I first started making YouTube videos, have that stuff playing.
Yeah.
You know, so people can, you know, you want it to be like, okay, this is the message that was maybe left behind. But it's a great point. Yeah, it's an interesting time in history
Very.
where
Yeah.
if you take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You're saying you're just speaking on when you die. You said you want it to be a celebration.
Yeah.
What other wishes do you have?
So when I die, I want there to be good music playing,
Yeah.
Good music. And I wanted to
What kind of music?
probably something like the Grateful Dead,
Nice.
but I like weird stuff too, man. I like
There's
John.
a pun there. Grateful Dead.
Grateful
I'm
Dead.
not sure.
If I like when I do work, I put on John Carpenter, who created Halloween, right? I think the guy's a genius. A lot of his movies, but he does the soundtrack. So that Halloween theme song?
Yeah.
I have that on all the time. So I even said he could just put that on.
Kobe Bryant used to play that in his headphones when he's just sitting in the back.
I heard that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget how it goes.
Dude, it's great. I'll pull it, but it
right
puts
now.
you into like this meditative, me anyway, and all his, like, that's one of his movies too right there. That soundtrack is sick. Big Trouble in Little China, which there's a whole bunch of cool stories with that. Actually, Mortal Kombat, the game, is based off of that movie. And that movie was based off this guy named John Chan. If you read Magus of Java, the guy could he was like a level 3 out of 72 in this specific martial art. And he could he could pyrokinesis, he could set stuff on fire. They documented all this, dude. He could levitate, he could move stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude. So John Carpenter based that.
He could set things on fire with his hands.
One of his students.
I'm instantly skeptical.
I'll give you the book, dude.
I gotta check this shit out. I gotta see. I might need video evidence as well.
Dude, he didn't want anybody to really know, but one of his students, like a second student, documented, made a whole book. He found him. He had heard this story of this guy, and he found him and documented everything. And this was
shit.
Again, you go up to level 72, so that goes to what the hell are we actually capable of?
Well, that's kind of the thing with the way your mother saved your father, and like a lady lifting a van to save her kids.
Yeah.
I think there's so much untapped potential inside us that we can't access.
Absolutely.
That I'm super interested in trying to figure out how we can access
Unbelievable,
that.
man. Yeah, it's incredible. The people do amazing things, man. The people that can tap into that. And they say it's like 10% of the brain, if that people use.
That we actually use, right?
Yeah. So I believe, if you look, this is one of the songs too, by the way. Save this. You know that?
No, I was thinking of a dun, 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 dun,
Well,
dun, dun,
so this is one of the ones from it. But if you think,
yeah, it sounds like something bad's about to happen.
all the songs, they're like the synthwave.
Yeah.
Like the synthwave stuff, but it's good, man.
Yeah, like those foreboding kind of sounds. That's the one. That's the Kobe Bryant one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the main one. But
Play it in Jason or Freddy or one of those.
Well, that's Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
Halloween,
Yep.
dude. I love that movie. That guy's a genius, man. I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
I'm gonna look him up.
So I actually got some questions for you that when we almost did a podcast outside just bullshit and talking about stuff, but I kept all this shit
Awesome, dude.
in because I got some, and I think it'd be cool because your fans, you bring us on and they're just learning about us maybe for the first time, but I'm sure they're coming back each week to listen because they're interested in you, right?
Yeah, sure.
So some of this stuff they're probably gonna know, but some of the stuff I want to know first. The Panda Man nickname.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Where'd that come from?
So the panda died, right? Okay, so where the panda came from, remember Ron Artest?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace. But he changed his name for a minute to it was like the panda's friend or friendly panda. Most people don't know that, but I was on his email list at the time, and this was before we even had kids. So you're talking 2014, 13 maybe. And he said I would change my name, and I got some apparel. Right, and I was like, I'd like to do it. I want to support him. So I bought one of his panda hats and a panda shirt. Then I started researching the panda, the animal, and it was thought to be like a mythological creature. The Westerners didn't really discover it until 150 years ago in the wild. They would hear the Asians talk about it. They were like, this thing doesn't exist, almost like a Bigfoot. Then they found it. So I like that aspect, drew me in. And then I started, just really, again, studying the animal. And they're like, okay, people think it's this cuddly creature, but it's also very fierce. Like you get in a cage with that thing, it'll kill you.
Well, not me or LJ, but
not you guys, but the average man.
I like to do that on my podcast. They're always like, "What is like you versus a girl?" I'd be like, man, I'd probably trick it, and then I'd hit it with a right cross and I'd shake its back.
Trained fighter, though, yeah.
No, I'm teasing.
No,
a fucking animal would kill us. Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of connected with me, man, because kind of what you guys were talking about before. A lot of people, I try to be kind to everybody, but I also, I'm a competitor. Yeah, so I kind of connected with that. So I actually got that's the original panda right there. So then fast forward 2019, I dove back. So I started fasting in 2014, but you're 16, 18, nothing crazy. Did that for 5 years. 2019, I dove back into the research. I'm like, I got to start doing longer here. We were having a fat loss contest at the gym. The staff was. So I want to try to beat these younger guys. So I started doing 48-hour fast, 72. Started documenting everything. And I was like, man, this is freaking awesome. And I said, this is going to help people. So you keep going to that December, right before COVID. And I might have had one of the first cases. I never got tested for COVID, to be honest with you. But we were up in Hoboken at a holiday party, and so near the city. And we came back, and like the next day or two, I was like, man, I don't feel right. Something's way off with me. They told so Devin, he's like, you got to go, because I would be like convulsing on the floor. Like I was in rough shape. They tested, said, oh, you got the flu B. So it's funny because, again, right before COVID, Emma was, a couple months old, our daughter. So Devin says, you're going to be, staying in the bedroom, quarantining you with the mask. How crazy is that, right? And so I go along with it, but I'm in there basically like in a state of delirium. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to write out everything I did with the fasting. And how am I going to turn this into a book or a program for people? What am I going to call it? I said, oh, the Panda Diet. I'm going to call it the Panda Diet. It just popped into my head. And I still have that notebook, wrote everything down. And then with the Panda Man, I actually got kicked off Instagram like a year ago, more than a year ago, because I think we started it whenever it was, a year and a half ago. I don't know why I got kicked off. And I couldn't even, there was no access, there was no record even in my account. I think it was because I was putting videos up. I was making like chlorine dioxide, like Trump had talked about. And that's another thing a compound you could take. And I was just gone. So I'm like, all right, I got to make a new account. What am I going to call myself? So then it was like Panda Man KN, Kyle, no, Panda Man, playing around with that. And so that's where it came from. And actually, I didn't think of that until recently because somebody said, where'd it come from? Like, I was trying to think. And then, these guys came in and we made the Panda Man official. But that's where it came from. It's from Ron Artest.
Wow.
Interesting.
So
that leads me to another question. So I'm interested in your fasting habits. Like me personally, I've been doing more fasting where I don't think it's as crazy as yours. I've heard you talk about doing like 48 hours and stuff. I fast like every day, but like just like I get up, I do my like first workout, and first few hours. I don't like to have any food in my body. When I do, I feel a little more blah. Like, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like I'm like digesting and stuff. So I like to like and we'd always been taught as like athletes, like, oh, you're gonna be better. You got to get something in your stomach. Obviously the whole breakfast thing with the was it General Mills trying to make it in the food pyramid, all that whole fucked up shit. But I know I feel better on my workout. I get more out of my workout when I don't have anything in my stomach. And then I'm like, after when I'm actually hungry, like it feels good. And I'd for years would like force myself to eat first thing in the morning. Yeah. And I don't like it.
I feel the same way. My first workout, I really like to do almost on nothing. I feel good like that.
You perform better that way.
Yeah. And it's weird how, like we were talking about with the ice before, it's weird how, training methods keep getting overturned, if you will. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like people, 10 years ago used to swear by ice. If you hurt your knee, ice it, and now I find out it's not the right thing to do. No. You know what I mean? Although most people who are not athletes still believe ice is the way to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just like what we were talking about here, same thing. How they would always tell you, you have to have a good breakfast, eat this, eat that. And, now it's being overturned, right? Fasting is amazing for you.
Yeah, it's great.
I'd have to get up at like 4 a.m. if I was going to be eating by like 4 a.m. if I'm going to have like, you know what I mean? For me to actually feel good and that like to get digested and, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I've changed that and I've enjoyed, my experiences with
so
fasting.
What do you do now? You eating like twice a day?
Yeah. Usually and that's the other thing I want to get into is LJ told me you do feasts.
Yeah, big time.
I'm a big feast guy. I'm like a gavone. I like to eat. I like to fuck it up when I eat. You know what I mean? I like to go hard. Sure. So I like won't eat for a while. So let's say I do my first workout will be at like 8. So I'm getting up at like 6, and then I'll do my strength training at like from like 8 to about 10. Then from like 10 to about 11:30, I'll do like some MMA stuff. And sometimes in there, I think I'm gonna start adding maybe a little like just eating some honey. Just get like a sugar, so kind of break my fast there, just to give me a little pop. Sometimes at the end of that, if I'm sparring after doing like a lot of weight training, I can feel a little flat. Sure. By the end. So I'm thinking I might start adding a little bit in there. But then normally I would finish that and I wouldn't end up eating till like, noon or something like that. Okay. You know what I mean? But I'm doing I'm probably burning, 2,000 or more calories before. I mean, that might be a low number. You know what I mean? It might be
Yeah.
more than that, but I do feel better fasting. Then
Yeah,
I'll do like a shake, and then I'll go eat. Like I'll go fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
Like the shake will have like 60 grams of protein, like maybe like 80 carbs, and then my meal after that is gonna have from like 50 to 100 grams of protein, and like I'll eat all the white rice, you know, I
Sure.
want and shit. Because I think as a performance athlete, I think like white rice is
great.
amazing for you. It's like
Yeah.
gets that glycogen back in you,
Yeah.
and you know I
Easy
feel
on
like
the
I have
gut.
that pop
Yeah.
to then do another workout later in the day.
Sure.
And then after my next workout, so then I usually won't eat from there until my next workout. And that could be, so let's say I do the shake around noon, eat like a good meal, like 1:30, maybe 2 at the latest. And then my next practice will be at like 6. And then after that, around like 8 or 9, 10, something like that, then I'm feasting again.
Okay.
I'm eating again another meal with 50 to 100 grams of protein, and you know
What do you
lot of
like
like
for the protein? Like ground beef? You doing steaks? What?
my favorite is I love like bison.
Bison,
I
yeah,
get ground
yeah.
bison,
Yeah.
or I can get like ground lamb, and you know I like the, you know, I think like if you're eating like venison, if you're eating a strong animal,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll also do a lot of beef. I love like go to a Brazilian steakhouse and roll myself out of there, try and put those motherfuckers out of business.
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm taking all that shit, you know?
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, I all my meals are focused around the protein, you know? I want to, you know, and when I'm in fight camp and we got to lose weight, yeah, I'm eating like salmon. I'll do salmon. Then I got to measure out my rice
Sure.
to bring the weight down.
Yeah.
You know, eating a lot of vegetables just to fill my stomach. But if I'm eating just like ideally for performance and strength, yeah, I'm fucking it up. I'm eating a lot.
That's good, man. We're gonna have to feast one day then. I can eat.
100%.
Let's do it.
100%.
Let's do it.
That'd be fun.
How many calories do you eat in your one meal?
Yeah, you got to tell me about the feast, bro.
The feast, man. So I mean, these guys have eaten with me before. On an average night. So if you're not talking about like when I'm going, you know, when the appetite's really
Now,
spiked.
what time do you eat?
It's usually I've been making it a little bit earlier. So last night I took the kids for a bike ride, so I didn't eat till about 9 o'clock last night.
9 p.m.
Yeah, and
Okay.
that's usually that was a norm. I'm trying to move it up a little bit just so I can eat with the family.
So that's early.
That was So a lot of times it'd be 9:30, 10. So I grew up.
Okay.
My parents, that's when they would eat, and I just kind of So the kids are all young. They're getting a little bit older now, but I didn't find it relaxing if I'm eating, and you know they're doing this and that and just being a distraction. So I like to eat in peace.
Okay.
But I've been trying to move it up to like 7:30, you know, 6:30 if I'm eating with them.
That's late to have your first meal of the day, man.
Yeah.
I think to some people that's like crazy. Like
Yeah,
what? You don't
yeah.
eat anything until
Yeah.
7?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
a lot
know,
of average people would think that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's nuts, yeah.
Me
Yeah.
on the weekends, so I train like hard Monday to Friday. Like I'm up at like, you know, 6, working out by 8, and I'm, you know, sometimes doing 2-3 practices a day. On the weekend though, lately I've been taking off Saturday and Sunday. But when I get up, I take my time, drink some water. I also the only thing I put in my body is I put salt water. I'll do salt water and like
Yeah.
some creatine, mix it in like a shaker bottle, and I drink that like before my workout, you know, keep my electrolytes and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's great.
You were one of the people I heard talk about
Yeah.
that too, and like I heard it from somewhere, and then I heard you doing it. I was like, yeah, all right, I'm doing the right thing
It's a
here.
game changer.
And I'll do that, and then on the weekends I'll do like that low intensity steady state. I'll go out into like a field right by my house, and I'll walk, and I'll kind of like I'll backpedal, I'll side shuffle, I just move around. I'll kind of like be in my stance sometimes, but I'm moving for an hour straight, right? So I'm
Yeah.
doing like a little cardio, and it's also like a little recovery, you know, like some active recovery.
Yeah.
And then, but on those days, sometimes I won't eat till like 5, maybe 6, you know, because
Yeah.
I'm not training. I don't feel
Yeah,
like I need the
yeah.
calories
Yeah.
and you know, to put it in to get the output,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah. For sure, man.
So tell me
Yeah.
about these feasts, brother. I'm
The
trying
feast,
to
man,
hear,
so
trying to
like
hear what the Panda Man's eating.
If you did I haven't tracked calories in a long time, man. But when I was tracking that first summer of like creating the Panda diet, a low meal for me would be like a one sitting 35 to 4,000, 3,500, 4,000. That's a big meal. I mean, I don't know, when we're down in
That's a
Florida.
low
it's
meal?
probably- yeah, I could eat 7,000, 8,000 calories one shot, no problem. When I
What are
used
we
to,
That's
eating?
crazy.
In like what?
so
If we're eating Big Macs, I can see how we can get there, but I don't think you're eating
So
dirty.
when I go out to eat at a restaurant, and my brother, I pride myself. I think I'm probably the best food orderer in the world too. I'm so
Wow,
good.
we definitely gotta go eat. We definitely
I
gotta
can
go
pick
eat.
out the best combinations. And so, like, normally at home, I'll start with a giant bowl of fruit, like a huge,
Okay.
like the thing's bigger than my hand. So when we go out to eat, usually the fruit isn't an option. But so then what I'll do is I'll get a couple of appetizers, then I'll get like a giant salad, right? And I'll say a lot of the times that comes with the meal because I like to eat it all together, right? So that comes out. Then like when we were down in wherever, Orlando, whatever, what I got, I think two big, they were big grass-fed burgers, 2 giant baked potatoes, and these were family baked potatoes. You know, they're meant for like a family thing. So that, can't remember what else we got. A bunch of sides of veggies. Now, when I used to do something called a cycle diet, which would be like when I figured this out with bodybuilding, you can't once you get to the super compensation state, you can't get full, right? And it messed me up the first couple because I didn't know what the hell was going on. But then once I learned how to manipulate that and do that, and these was when I was tracking, but this is going back about 15 years, I would have these cheat days all day. So now I give myself Sundays, do whatever I want. I have a lot of flexibility with what I do. And usually I just do a meal because I feel better than if I'm eating throughout the day. But on the cheat days, dude, I would do between 15 and 20,000 calories for the day, which is a ton of food, dude. And that would be like Girl Scout cookies, jars of peanut butter, pizza,
Jars.
all this stuff, man. So I have it in the Panda Diet book, the Waffle House record down in Virginia Beach.
No way.
Yeah, so
How many waffles?
So I was fasting at this point. I just come off a bodybuilding show like a month before. And it was actually my birthday that year. We were driving down to the Outer Banks. So we woke up and it was cheat day. So we got a dozen. I got a dozen of Dunkin' Donuts, the double chocolate and like the blueberry, like the heavy ones. I ate them before we even got to Princeton, the next town. Devin made a huge thing of rice pudding. Ate that while I'm driving. Box of Girl Scout cookies, bag of Butterfingers. And now it's 11 o'clock. We get to the waffle. I love Waffle House. They don't have them here though. They got them close to you.
So you set a record after eating all this shit for
After
bags of fucking.
dude, this is 11 o'clock, and so we go in, and I tell Devin, I said, don't tell him I don't like attention. I'm an introvert. I said, don't tell him it's my birthday. Let me just go and eat in peace. So we sit. It's packed, dude. We sit at the bar at the Waffle House. And you ever have the Waffle House? They're filling, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
I've eaten
dude.
Waffle House,
The peanut butter waffles. And most people could eat like one. So right out the gate, I'm like, I want 3 of them, some eggs, and a coffee. And the lady's like, she goes, sorry, I thought you said 3. I go, I did say 3. She goes, no. She goes, I've never seen anybody eat more than 2. I said, well, bring them out. Let's see what happens. Brings them out, crush them, get 2 more. And that dude, there's a scene now, though. It's like the John Candy, the old 96er, like the Great Outdoors. I don't know if you see, he eats a steak, dude, and he gets it for free. But
We're
it's
90s
like
babies, bro.
Yeah.
We didn't.
Watch that scene, man. I'll text it to you.
All right.
He eats his 96-ounce steak, and he gets it for free, but he's like sick afterwards. But so now I eat 2 more. Now these people are literally high-fiving themselves and all. Then the manager comes out. Now at this point, though, I'm not feeling that good, and I still got to finish the drive. And he's like, if you eat 2 more, I'm going to buy your meal. And I was like, I contemplated it. I didn't do it, though, and I could have, but I would have been shot the rest of the day. So I did 5.
That's what I'm saying is I feel like you'd be shot eating like that anytime.
Yeah, and so that's why I kind of went away from the cycle diet, right? When I got into the fasting, because I would have these cheat days, but you get this food coma. You don't feel good.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what am I doing? Like by the end of the day, my energy sucks.
That's why I take a nap after my first meal.
Yeah. That's part of the reason, one of the reasons I like having the feast at night.
Later in the day.
It kind of goes with bedtime.
I was going to say, have you ever trained right after the feast meal?
No, very rarely.
Very rarely.
Yeah,
so you like saving that to the end.
Yeah, so I did the Army Ranger Challenge. These guys were there. We did that 4th of July weekend. And even that night, didn't eat until it was time. And that was 40-pound rucksack, 12 miles in under 3 hours. So you're burning with that. But my performance was on point. Was able to do that, but I waited till dinner, and I ate. But average night, man, it's just a lot of good food: salmon burgers, grass-fed beef burgers, eggs.
With the bun?
Yeah, I'll do Dave's Killer Bread. I love that. So
Okay.
I either use Dave's Killer Bread or like naan, the Indian bread.
Oh, yeah.
That stuff's delicious, man.
Oh,
Put
it's
some
awesome.
mayo, put some good cheese on there. And then
You do normal mayo? You do like the
one we have now is made with the avocado.
avocado?
oil.
I
Yeah.
like that. It's
good, man.
expensive, but it's
Yeah.
it's
worth
good.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's worth
It's good. Instead of putting like soybean oil in your
yeah.
stomach, you
Yeah.
get the good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey will tell you, dude, like when we do Mount Washington,
He told me about it.
Yeah.
He told me about it.
After
That's
that, man,
crazy.
I'll
I
do
want to
like-
do that with you
you
guys.
got to do it this year, man.
Yeah, that's
freaking
crazy.
awesome, dude. But my food order, it's a burger place, is like $100. So I'll do like in their doubles or triples. So I'll get like 4 or 5 of them. And then we'll hit a couple of beers after doing Mount Washington. When we came to your fight last year, I think that was the first time Mikey ate with me. Dude,
Oh,
we
yeah?
got this giant prime rib, dude. Same thing. I order a bunch of stuff, dude, and put it away, man.
Wow.
You know, I've always been able to eat, man. You know, I got 3 brothers, so it was always like whatever food there was, you had to.
You had to
to
get
get
it
it.
down.
Had to
You
go
just
in,
eat
yeah.
quick and
Yeah. But I don't hold back when I eat, man. I don't eat for portion control or any of that. That's why the fasting also, it's very liberating to me.
Yeah, your body can process, that, do the digestion, and then it can get into a big reason why I started doing it is after my back surgery was for the recovery.
Yeah, it's
Because
huge.
if your body doesn't have to focus on digesting shit every 2-3 hours, it can really focus on recovering and
It's
repairing
huge,
it.
man. It's huge. It's such an understated fact with fasting. You could heal, speed healing. You can pretty much heal anything, especially you get into that dry fasting when you do this. People don't realize.
I've
how
never
much
done that. I mean, we've had to do it when we're cutting weight for fights,
dry
and it
fasting's
sucks.
good, man. It's tough. It's just I'd played around with it that first year, but mentally, I don't think I was ready to make it a part of my regular arsenal.
So every Monday you're doing the dry fast?
Yeah. So what I've been doing now is Sunday night to Tuesday morning is dry. Then Tuesday for like the next 12 hours, water fasting. But the cool thing about that, think about like dopamine, right? When you know you're going to have some. So Tuesday mornings, I get this huge dopamine hit because I'm having water, I'm having the juice or coffee. So it's like, it's another way to manipulate it. I wake up and I feel great.
So
dude.
Tuesday you're feeling
Feel fantastic, dude.
cloud
It doesn't
nine.
even feel like I'm fasting.
wow.
Really?
Then you could just kind of blow through it. So, but yeah, that's the average fast. Then, like I said, a couple weeks ago, I did a 4-day. Coming up on a year, and I'm gonna see if I could top it somehow. I created something called the Indigo Panda, which is the white hat. You can't buy them. I only give them out if people do this. There's only been like 2 people that have done it. So what that is, it's a 5-day fast. You got to work out twice a day during this, 45 minutes each, at least 1 outdoors, because I was doing 75 hard when I did it, when I started it. 5-day fast break with the feast, 4-day fast break, 3-day fast break, 2-day fast break, and then you finish with a 12-hour silent solo walk. So I did mine overnight through the Southland Mountains. No podcast. You don't do anything. That was intense, man. That was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
that
it.
was- Yeah.
How long of a walk?
12. It was, man. I probably went 30 miles. It was 12 hours. And I went
that's
through,
tough.
I was, I did it overnight.
I'm
so
ready to eat after my hour walk with my fucking
That was
music
tough,
on.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was tough, man. It was,
Yeah.
it was, and then, I did it overnight because I didn't want to disturb. It was the weekend, and I'm trying to figure out how do I do this with the kids. I don't want to take away from them and my wife. So she's
Right.
like, just do it overnight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. So
That
I
is
went up
cool.
there and your mind's playing with you because they're up in the mountains, man. It's pitch black.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But that was
No, that's a great challenge.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
good.
that's a nice challenge.
that was a good
Now,
one.
do you think that fasting is ideal for like performance athletes like ourselves, like
yeah.
for like fighters and stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
I do, yeah, because I've had ultra endurance athletes do it. And again, everybody thinks, well, I need to, once your body adapts to it, so you have the mitochondrial function goes up, right? And that's the powerhouse. That's where energy is produced.
okay,
And there was an old book I read by this German doctor, but he was talking about like the vitality and the energy of the body. It was basically the vitality equals whatever, like air pressure, the oxygen in your blood minus obstructions. And the obstructions really food stuff within your blood system. So as that goes down, oxygen goes up. You can oxygenate the muscles more. And I really do think it's optimal because, again, recovery. Like, dude, I'm 42 now. I feel better than I did like 15 years ago when I was competing in bodybuilding and all that. None of my joints bother me. I just feel fantastic. And I look younger, which is crazy, dude, because you're getting this huge growth hormone spike every time you do this longer fast. And if you keep hitting that button every day, right, and the number one cause, too, for it, like insulin resistance and inflammation are really the same thing. So if we get you more insulin sensitive, inflammation's going to go way down. So I do think it's such an easy way to manipulate weight if you want and keep on weight. Like I eat 6 meals a week.
Yeah, I would love to try that.
Dude.
I'm gonna have you
Now-
write me a nutrition program for that.
Definitely.
now, what other type of supplements are you taking? I mean, you're a big guy. I don't know. We get USADA tested and
Yeah,
stuff.
you guys can't do the stuff I'm
There's
doing.
a lot of stuff probably we can't take. Now, do you think that aids in the what you're getting out of training? And does that help the fasting process? Like,
I'm sure it helps. So I love testosterone.
Okay.
Big believer that
when I retire, I
Oh,
want
for
to
sure.
get on that shit
Yeah,
like a
for
motherfucker.
sure.
Basically, I got
You
a
know?
seminar here tomorrow night on that testosterone because the guys should be on that, right? And you guys can't do it right now.
Nah, we
Test
get
is huge.
yeah.
You
They
know.
won't let us fight.
Yeah.
You know.
So that definitely helps as far as. But the main thing with tests, it helps with recovery.
Yeah.
Right. So with tests, I'm doing about 250 milligrams a week, which is nothing crazy. It's not like thousands of milligrams a week, but you have more testosterone receptors on your brain and your heart than anywhere else. So you just feel better. Like that's what I tell
So
you.
everybody
What everybody says. The
Yeah.
cognitive,
You
the
feel
cognitive
better. Yeah.
benefits.
And that's the biggest benefit.
Yeah.
Endurance will go up a little bit because red blood cell count will go up, when you're doing that type of stuff. But yeah, so I do test. And then beyond that, you got vitamin D. There's only a couple of supplements I take, stuff like the juice, the salts, vitamin D, magnesium.
Yeah, I'm teaching a seminar after this at 3, and I'm gonna probably just do another scoop of this
Dude, it's
stuff.
good
This
stuff,
is
right?
great. Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
appreciate
good,
it's the juice, huh?
The juice, Brandon Kelly at BK, man. You got to set you guys up, man. But that stuff's good, man.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's delicious, and
Yeah.
I like that it doesn't break the
Doesn't break
fast.
the
So
fast.
I'm still fasting now, and
Yeah,
I'll
'cause
probably
that's-
go till about probably like 5 without
Yeah.
eating today.
Perfect, man.
And
Yeah.
Kyle, we have to ask you. So there's one more supplement that you're big on, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
let's
we're gonna
Well-
ask you. This. Go ahead. Did you have something before?
No,
No,
go.
okay, yeah,
This is
yeah.
on the list, man.
So-
That's on the list.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
List.
So again, since we're into supplements, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think this is crazy, right? The urine drinking.
The urine, yeah.
Right? So
So
how does that go?
So I'll tell you where I came up with that.
And now,
first.
and I got a question a little caveat to go along with that. I remember seeing like Lyoto Machida would drink his piss first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, does that can break your fast?
From the research I've done, I don't believe it does. Right?
Okay.
Now I haven't. There's not much out there like on that.
Right.
Yeah.
to kind of
We need to get some
Because-
more college studies
Yeah.
on this piss
Yeah.
drinking.
Because
we need to
Kyle,
get the word
like
out
the average
there.
person, right?
Yeah.
They hear this and they look it up.
Yeah.
And there's nothing but really negative.
Negative
It's all
stuff.
Right.
negative, right?
It's all negative, man. And even to that point with the studies, and even like before we go over that with the fasting, you get a lot of these fake fitness experts like, the research doesn't show this works. What you're doing, I'm like, nobody's studying what I'm doing. They're studying like a 16-hour fast for a month. I'm like, so you got to pave your own, be a trailblazer. So it was November last year. I was listening to this interview with this doctor, and this guy showed a Health Ranger, which I really like, and they were talking about the vaccine, right? And a lot of people are having issues with clotting. Now, I didn't get the vaccine or anything like that. Nobody, my kids, none of that. But he goes, well, what can these people do that got it to kind of, because, for some people, right, in their mind, you've seen it, like the kid in Alabama, the number one player in Alabama, high school basketball player, just dropped dead like that, 17 years old. And this is going on all over the place. He says, well, what can people do to help with the clotting? He goes, there's nothing like medically that there's no medicine right now. But he goes, but this is going to sound really weird. He goes, we've known this forever. There's just compounds in your urine that can dissolve clots very quickly. So I was like,
shit.
man. I was like, that's interesting. So I'm listening to that, and then I got back to the house because I was walking. I started researching it. I'm like, well, if it can do that, what else can it do? So then I ordered like 3 books on it, started listening to, digging, going down a rabbit hole. It's got over 2,600 enzymes, hormones, nutrients that your body is already it's part of your blood. It's highly filtered blood plasma, your own urine. Now, we've been told it's waste, right? And I believe that's intentionally we've been told that. The number one thing that the pharmaceutical and medical community studies, and they don't tell you this, is urine, because it's so powerful for healing and all that. You look at the snake charmers in India. What do they always have with them? The ones that dance with the king cobra? Urine. Topically, right? It can heal wounds incredibly quick, wounds that won't heal, and then it can ingest it to kind of neutralize the venom. And this is still big in Eastern medicine. And this was big for a long time, but now it's been like, it's kind of been just like fasting, I believe, kind of hidden. Like, okay, people are doing this and they were healing all this type of stuff. They're not going to need this medicine over here. So I've been doing it since November. Same thing. You wake up, urinate a little bit, and then start peeing in a cup. You get the sediment or whatever out, and then you're, 2, 3,
Sediment.
4.
What?
That's there's stuff that will kind of build up within the
Really?
system. Yeah.
What's the process? You're going in like pissing in a glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a glass, man, and then
Not like a
just
cup
drink.
of tea?
No.
No?
Yeah, just a glass.
No lemons. No.
Yeah. And then you just drink it. It is.
How big of a glass? I know my morning piss got to be about 32 ounces at least.
Well,
I'm having a belly full of urine.
I probably put about. It's not that big of a glass. I probably fill up 3 or 4 ounces, and then the rest.
Oh, so just a little shot.
yeah, you don't have
almost.
to do the full thing.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Because I hear that first part is like the best. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
where,
why they say to do it in the morning. It's the most nutrient dense.
Okay.
You're going to get stem cells, and it's all bioidentical for your body, right? Like, and there's actually people they call loopers. Now, I don't do this, but the loopers, every time they urinate, they put it back into their body. So every time they piss, it's going back in.
Can't people get like like uric acid poisoning or something like that?
No, that's
not a
more.
thing?
Yeah, this is more of a myth that you're going to get that. Now, if you're highly toxic, like if you're on a lot of pharmaceuticals or you're an alcoholic, then I wouldn't do it.
Okay,
Because
but if you're living clean and
living clean, yeah, then you're good.
putting healthy shit in your body,
Yeah,
yeah.
and even like the certain sect of monks, when they would do psychedelics, they would drink their urine because they found that it would keep that state going much longer. Right, so urinate out, boom, and they would to be able to ride that wave for extended hours doing that.
Oh, right. Probably because if they're, I don't know what they're doing, but if they're doing like mushrooms, they're going to piss out some of that psilicin or psilocybin, so they're getting like another shot of that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
exactly.
Interesting.
Now, another worry of that is dehydration, right? Is that because they say if you're in the desert, right? Of course, you know, this is just from TV shows I'm watching, but if they say if you're in the desert, don't drink your own piss because you'll be dehydrating. Even though you think you're drinking, you're dehydrating yourself.
Yeah.
So is it bad for dehydration?
No.
Because you're only taking such a
I
small
thought that
amount,
was salt
right?
water. If like you're
Yeah,
stranded on a
salt water
boat,
too.
you don't want to drink ocean water.
Salt water as well. You
can
can't drink ocean.
Yeah, you could get in trouble with that. Yeah, but with with urine, you're not going to worry about being dehydrated with that, any of that stuff. And you think about even when you get a jellyfish bite or a stingray bite, what do they tell you to do? Pee on it.
Yeah.
This is like, if you look and say, well, why do they tell? And they tell me it's bad, but they tell me to do that. It's a common knowledge with that. You know, if you look at the number one product in ingredient in like skincare products, it's urea. It comes from urine, right? Like it's amazing. It's crazy, dude.
That is.
But when I learn something like that, I do it right away.
So everyone should be doing a little golden shower.
I would,
just to
man.
get the skin right.
I would, man. I'm telling you, man.
Make sure that person's clean though.
Make sure it's clean. And I've read in some of these books, some of these health diseases and stuff that people have had and nothing else has worked. Incredible testimonials, man, like different cancers. So there's
I've heard
B7,
the same thing.
Unbelievable, dude. So you combine that
I've
with
heard
fasting.
the fasting.
Unreal, dude. I would say if I got cancer, I'm drinking my urine, I'm dry fasting on top of that, vitamin C, baking soda, I'm doing that until you beat it.
So if you're dry fasting, you can't drink the urine though.
No. So you'd all probably alternate. You know, so on Mondays when I don't drink, you know, I skip that day.
Yeah.
Okay.
The baking soda thing I really like.
Yeah,
What's the baking soda thing?
It makes you go ahead. It makes your blood more alkaline.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Makes the body more alkaline.
You drink baking soda?
So normally with the salts, I'll put that with the Celtic sea salt and potassium salt within that. So it's very good for your kidneys and it makes you more alkaline, like LJ is saying. So
I should add baking soda to my morning
you could,
drink?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
How much? I know with the salt they said about like 3 grams. So I usually do like 3 to 4.
Yeah, same amount. You'll be all right.
Same amount of baking soda.
Same amount, yeah.
Okay.
And we did a video on that. I think it was in the early 90s. WADA had banned that baking soda for a period of time because it was such a performance enhancer. The problem was when these guys were trying to figure out how to get a large enough dose, they would get like nauseous and stuff. It's a great performance enhancer.
No shit.
It helps to
So I
build
knew
up the
salt.
lactic acid. Right? Yeah.
I knew salt was one.
Yeah.
That's supposed to raise like performance by 20% or something
crazy.
like that.
Yeah, strength
But
endurance.
baking soda, same
Baking
thing.
soda too, man.
And that's not banned by WADA. You saw
No,
that
because they
anymore.
figured like, well, we can't really ban this. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
You know,
Yeah,
but they
it's
tried.
salt.
They did for a while. But yeah,
Interesting.
Wow.
All right, I'll add baking soda and I'll get back to you with some of my results. I'll let you know how I feel.
you'll notice the difference. I have people who will message me and be like, "Oh my gosh, what a difference!" Especially when they start doing that combination with the salt.
All right.
It's huge.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
There we go.
Adding that. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Cool. You adding the piss, LJ?
Yeah. Go ahead.
You adding the
Next question.
piss? No, you adding the piss? I'm asking you.
Adding the piss?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try it.
Hey,
I'm not against trying. If you swear to me, again, I've worked with Kyle for a little bit now, and he's a very smart guy when it comes to all this. So if he swears that it's gonna increase my
You'll
performance,
do 3-4 ounces. You do a little
you know,
shot.
I'll take
You
a
do.
gallon. You know,
I'm the type, man.
I'll take a, you know, if I feel like it's truly gonna increase my performance, you know,
I'm
as
the
long as
type,
it's within
dude.
the rules, I'll do anything.
I tell Devin, I'll look for any advantage I can get.
Exactly.
Amen.
Exactly.
Anything.
Yeah. Same. 100%. What other kind of benefits like that could you
I tape my mouth when I sleep at night.
I love
to
that.
breathe through the
I love
nose?
that.
Yeah.
Simple.
Did you read those books?
Yeah.
Those
James
books
Nestor
are
book,
yeah,
yeah.
yes,
That's when I
amazing.
started,
The nasal breathing,
Same thing.
it's phenomenal.
It's such a little thing, man.
I think as fighters too, it's really important because you know we get hit in
Like
the nose
down
all
on
the
the
time.
mouthpiece too.
Yeah, but we get hit in the nose all the
Yeah.
time, and it
Yeah.
closes our nasal passages from getting hit.
Yeah.
And just from nasal breathing, you could start opening that back up, especially
huge.
during workouts. You know, I felt the benefits just
So you're doing it at
opening
night,
my
yeah.
nose. Yeah, doing it at night, doing it during some of my you know steady state work.
Yeah.
you know, during my steady state, only nasal breathing.
Yeah.
You know, I truly feel it expanding my nasal passageways, you know,
Yeah.
after getting, you know, hit in the nose so many times.
No, it's that's a great thing, man. The cold tubs, like we were talking about.
Love
do
them.
that pretty much.
What do you like to do with the cold tub? Like, is that like a first thing?
Yeah, it's not like wake up. It's usually, okay, this morning I'll wake up, I'll do some of my breathing, like Wim Hof breathing. I'll read a little bit. And then
that Wim Hof breathing is amazing. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah,
Same
I
thing,
would
just
do that.
getting
I would do his
mitochondria.
routine in the shower.
Yeah.
You know,
Cold shower,
yeah,
right?
cold shower. You know, you'll get high as a kite just from oxygen.
yeah.
You know, you'll be higher than anything just from your oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get that. I usually go anywhere between, on the very low end, 2 minutes, then 4 minutes is usually the norm.
In the cold tub?
In the cold tub.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do that for sure, man.
Do you like going cold, hot, cold, hot?
So a lot of times, sometimes I'll do the contrast, but a lot of times I'll do the cold, because to me it's more just the mental toughness.
Yeah.
I know they say, okay, you let your body warm up naturally, but we got the hot tub right next to it. A lot of times then I'll go into the hot tub and do my meditation.
Nice.
You know, I sit there and do my meditation, visualization.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah.
This morning I went to we have a sauna in the garage, so I walked over to the sauna and did it, you know.
Yeah, I love the ice bath, the sauna.
Yeah,
I think that I like that even better than the hot tub.
Yeah.
The ice bath, the sauna.
Yeah, it feels good.
You know, you do that 5 times, you come out, you feel amazing.
Yeah.
You know, you're totally refreshed, even after a hard workout, I find.
Yeah, I heard Huberman talking about like a natural way to boost like test and growth hormone was like you do like 30 minutes in a sauna, which is like, and the only thing that's bad about this is like the time investment. It's like you do 30 minutes in sauna where I think it's above 160 or 180. I keep it between 160 and 180, and then get out for 5 minutes and they have like, so I live like on the beach, so they have like these showers. So I go right under the shower and it's cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just go under it for 5 minutes, cool down, bring your you bring your temperature down a little bit, then you go in for another 30 minutes. And like it sucks. Like it's a long time, you know what I mean? It's an hour and 10 minutes. And really I hate about 55 minutes of it. Like the first 5 minutes in the sauna feels nice, and then, you know, it sucks for the next 25, and then I get out, the 5 minutes feel nice when I cool down. I get back in, the first 5 minutes feel nice, and it's 25 minutes to suck again.
Tough.
You know? But I hear it's good things, but it's just a lot of time, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, what you guys are doing, you got to look for that stuff too. Any advantage. There's another one. Actually, this is when owner reached out to me last year to shoot the videos. You get steroidogenesis, right? So the increase in testosterone and all this stuff. It's a mallet drill. So you take a mallet, right? And you want to work both hands. So I have 2 mallets and a golf ball, back and forth with it, right? So it's a lot of brain activation.
I don't understand exactly.
So you got a mallet, a rubber mallet in each hand.
Okay.
Right? And I would start you with one hand. You have a golf ball, and you're hitting the golf ball back and forth.
I'm hitting it to like,
Up,
in the air.
up, yeah, and you got to tap. Right? But you can actually grow like part of your brain doing that, but you get a huge boost. And like we said, the steroid hormone.
Is that kind of like that synapse type shit?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. But you could grow what's called the corpus callosum, the part of your brain that connects both hemispheres. You can actually grow it up to 4%. But then you do that, and you're getting this boost, man, luteinizing hormone, growth hormone, testosterone. You know, working.
You got to send me something on that.
Yeah,
so
that's
I give that
cool,
a try.
man.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. And it's great. It's just great for concentration, too.
What were you using for it? What were the paddles?
Mallets. Like a rubber mallet.
Gotcha.
Like when you like beat like
so almost like you're playing
steak with?
ping pong, just back and
so
forth.
more like one that a stonemason would use, but I use the rubber ones, so like 32 ounces each. So just your hands are so tied in to your brain and your nervous system, right? So then you're using them like that, right? And then you're going back and forth. Your hands and your feet, anytime you can.
Seems
work
like it'd be
them.
hard to keep a golf ball in the
It's
air.
tough, man. It's tough. So I would start you know,
Just
your right-handed,
boom, boom, boom.
tap, catch,
Got you.
and then try to get 5. Now go to left, try to get 5.
I love that. I love the coordination training.
Dude,
I
it's
think that's
awesome.
something so
We'll do that next time you
underutilized.
come
Yeah,
to
I
the
would
gym.
love to.
We'll do the mallet drill.
You know, I think coordination training is so underutilized. You know,
It
I
is.
love these tennis ball drills. I think reaction time training
Great.
and finesse. You know what I mean? I think it's such it's a place where it's not really trained.
Yeah.
You know, it's very underutilized, if you
Yeah.
will. A lot of people do their strength, they do their conditioning,
They do all that
they do
stuff,
their
yeah.
agility, all this stuff, but they don't train the mind.
No.
You know what I mean? I
You
think
gotta
that separates,
constantly.
big
You know,
time.
I do cursive writing is great for brain development.
Oh yeah.
And then writing with your opposite hand
I was
to
just gonna-
cursive. You try to do the mirror image like Da Vinci used to do. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do. But it all ties together when you're doing this stuff. You know, everything ties together. So you try it and you see how you feel.
Yeah. Hey, you guys send us a little sheet of something that we could all try.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, we'll put – I remember when the guy that Matt Fury who wrestled for Dan Gable, so Matt's coaching me again, but he's the one who taught me the mallet drill back in 2017. Might have been before that. But I remember he asked me one. He goes, "Let me ask you something." He goes, "Since you're doing this," because I was doing it every day at that point. He goes, "Is your sex drive going up?" I said, "It is, man. Big time. It's a huge difference."
That shows a boost in test,
yeah, it's
right?
boosting all that stuff, man. You know, so it's
How heavy are the mallets?
I think I got 32 ounces.
Okay, gotcha.
2 pounds each.
Yeah. It's heavy enough.
It's heavy enough.
Yeah, it's heavy
like
enough.
If you get 500-600 hits, you know, you're
You
feeling
get a
Heck
it.
yeah,
Forearm
forearms for sure.
Yeah, you're feeling everything, man.
Yeah.
But I like to use it just to get my brain going.
Yeah.
You know, get a little buzz with my brain. If I'm feeling a little flat or tired or something midday, go hit the mallet.
That's great.
On that, yeah.
That's great.
What do you think about like sex and performance? Like, you know, I've heard people talk about like the chi energy
question, yeah.
and keeping it in.
Yeah.
I tried that for one fight. It was the first fight I ever lost.
The one you
The
abstained?
one where I was abstaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I think I was allowed to on the weekends. But yeah,
I
during the
believe there's a lot
week I
to
like
that, man.
didn't.
I believe there's a lot to it.
You're a fan of abstaining.
Yeah, big time.
Gotcha.
I'm
you know.
not.
Not typically, but I'm telling you, with fighting, dude, that's another thing. I've just put in my newsletter with that. I put something about like the wisdom of fighters with the urine therapy and abstinence when it's leading up to a fight. So you have Napoleon Hill, right? He wrote Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich, one of the most important books I ever read.
Yeah, it's a great book,
Yeah.
man. We talk about sexual transmutation.
Yes.
So you take that energy and it's got to go somewhere. So this is why I'm a big advocate for guys. I'm like, we did a few posts on it. Some of the guys get all bent out of shape. I'm like, you shouldn't be masturbating. There's no reason to masturbate. First of all, you're devaluing the act of sex with your partner, your wife, whatever it is, girlfriend. But do you ever feel better after masturbating? Like you usually feel like I wanna
Like a
relax.
loser?
Yeah, like a loser. Like, you know, and some of the guys I work with, they'll say like, okay, some of these guys struggle with this stuff, man, like porn and all that.
It's a big problem for
It's a
like
huge
these young
problem, dude.
generations. These kids are growing up being able to watch porn from the time when
It's crazy,
they
dude.
start jerking off and like they're
It's
like
nuts, man.
10 years old, 11, 12, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
It's nuts, man.
It fucks their brains up.
Dude, I can tell you, I have not masturbated in over 5 years now.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
sir.
over
I know I can shake your hand on that.
And it's, you know, because I was just saying, I'm like, what am I, you know, so sexual transmutation, that energy can go to, for me, creating stuff, right? And then the aggression is going to be raised up too, right?
Yeah.
And women could tell. They've done studies on this, man. Iron in the Soul has this dude. He's got a good YouTube channel. But women can pick up on that. Like if guys are always blowing their load or whatever, the woman is not as attracted to them. Like they can sense this because it's the chi energy and all this type of stuff. It's a vital life force, right? So I do believe. Now, I've never fought in that setting, so I can't speak from personal experience. But to me, that's what. You know, if I was coaching somebody with that, like
So
that's what we
I've
gotta
seen conflicting data where I've seen them say like I've seen where like I think they did it with Shannon Briggs and like Chris Bird or some of these guys on Sports Science. They did it because there's always that thing from Rocky where like, you know, you gotta you'll make the legs weak, but they like there seems to be points where like it goes up and then there's a point where like you get like the diminishing returns, like it starts to go down. I know personally I don't have, when I have a fight I don't have sex that week. Like maybe I'll like if I go to like Vegas on Tuesday, maybe I'll have sex like Monday night and then a Tuesday till the fight I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's good. Smart.
Historically that's what I've been doing lately.
Yeah.
You know, but I also heard that you can raise your testosterone just by like just like looking at like a chick that you'd like wanna, like, you know what I mean, just looking at like scrolling through Instagram and looking at some butt cheeks or whatever. They say that can like spike it. So I don't really know what the right answer is. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what all that data seems a little.
It's very conflicting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two complete sides, it seems like.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is going to come down to what do you believe what you're doing is working? That's a big part.
Yeah,
of it,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like if
Facts.
you believe it's going to help you, you know. But if my personal opinion, that's what I would encourage somebody to do.
So you'd encourage someone to abstain for how long? You got like a time, like a.
I would say like a month out, man. A month, because it's a semen retention. Again, that force is building up within you.
Yeah.
It's got to go somewhere. It's got to be directed at something, you know. And it's, you know, I think it's just something that people too, for again, the society we live in, just give it away at no cost. This vital life force that's within you, you know, that's supposed to mean something.
Yeah.
So I think you let it build up. And I think, again, that Napoleon Hill concept, that transmutation, that energy is going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Right. And if you know that, hey, it's easy, like part of the symbology of the panda, and I use it for everything, it's a black or white. Right. So if you're a fighter and let's say a month out, you say, okay, it's not even an option. Like when I fast, it's not, I take eating off the table. It's there's no willpower with it.
It's discipline.
It's not an option.
You just know what you're doing.
Yeah. So let's say, right, like the male mind, the man's mind wants to get laid. So if you haven't taken that off the table, well, there's going to be some energy spent on trying to figure out how am I going to get laid next? When am I going to get laid next? Now, if you knew that wasn't an option, that energy is going to go somewhere, right? Whether that's to practice or just building up aggression.
Yeah,
or
recovering,
mindset,
whatever.
all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
So I think whatever it is, if you just say, okay, boom, it's gone, you know, and I'll revisit this after the fight, you know, and then obviously you look forward to it more.
Yeah. It's
Right.
like the same thing, like when we have to like cut weight and diet down, like, you know, like I weigh over 200 pounds, but I fight at 170. So I have to bring my weight down through camp to about 185. Like I'll do most of my camp in the 90s, most of it in like the low 90s. And I'm doing it very incrementally. Like I'm you know, like I said, I'm eating salmon, and white rice,
veggies.
like a cup of white rice and then a bunch of veggies just to fill my stomach up with something, and fruit, you know, that's like pretty much like I always tell people, like, if you want to lose weight, eat like that. Like if you could eat like that, and you know, you could get yourself in great shape as well.
Yeah.
But at the end, you're like, you have all these cravings, all this stuff you want. Man, like a beer after a nice win, you know, after you haven't drank for 2 months, that shit tastes good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Every fight camp, I always crave something. Like, and it's the most random thing. It's like one time it was a donut. Yeah. I just couldn't wait to fight and have a donut. You know, another time it was like a cigar. And I'm not even a cigar smoker, but I couldn't wait to smoke a cigar, you know, after the fight. You know, another time it was a beer.
Craving like McDonald's. And I haven't eaten McDonald's in 10 plus years.
It makes you crave the weirdest things, you know?
Yeah.
But I bet the same thing with sex. Like if you're cutting that out, like it's gonna be a whole lot sweeter at the end of the rainbow.
All this stuff, right? Like alcohol, sex, it should mean something. If it's just done mindlessly, it doesn't mean anything. Right. It's like, even with that, fasting has helped me with that tremendously, where I pray before every meal now instead of just eating mindlessly. But every meal is, I would say, the best meal I've ever had. I really feel like that. To imagine that, I feel like that when most people just eat and they check it off the list. They don't even give the food any thought. Same thing with sex or beer. Like, we shouldn't just, you know, I got into the habit for a while. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'd have a couple IPAs just because it was Friday, Saturday, or Sunday.
Right.
How do you feel that affects performance?
Yeah, alcohol.
Alcohol?
Yeah.
It's going to take you longer to recover.
For sure.
You know?
Some people say like one beer. And again, I'm not a big, one beer a day is like actually good for you in a way.
One
or
beer,
like a glass of wine.
There's actually micronutrients you can get from beer that's hard to get from other food. One beer, one glass of wine isn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
It's when you're doing it, and I always go back to, if it has a grip on you, then you're in trouble. Like any of these vices. Sure. If you can't control it, then you got to cut it out for a while and then see if you can reintroduce it. You know, I think if you're starting to get into, I remember like it was probably my mid-20s, and I, you know, realized, okay, going out on the weekends, having some, you know, hard liquor drinks, it would take me like 2-3 days before I felt normal again. And I was like, all right, this has got to be cut out a little bit because I can't recover the same.
Yeah, the hard liquor I always felt the most. Like if I'm doing hard liquor, I can't, the next day I'm
stay
done.
Away from that, man.
Yeah.
Beer, if you want to have wine.
Yeah.
You know.
What would you recommend is the best? Like if you're going to go out to dinner,
I
wine,
like beer, man.
Beer?
Yeah. I like beer, you know.
Any specific type, an IPA or
I like
a light
IPA
beer?
just because they're stronger. So
yeah, you drink less of them and get fucked up quick.
That's it, man. 2 of them, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, and there's not, you know, I'm not getting hungover from that. But I can't feel it now that I don't drink as much as I used to. Like I can feel, you know, sometimes even, you know, one beer, I'm like, man, I don't feel as right.
Yeah.
I don't feel as good.
Yeah, it makes sense if you're super in touch with your body and shit.
Yeah.
You know, those little things throw you off.
But it's the main thing is making sure that there's a purpose. It's a celebration, or it's going out with my wife or something.
Yeah, not just a daily
just
habit.
sitting there watching TV. You know, but again, as long as you're consciously in control, I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I
good.
remember hearing Ronnie Coleman talk about where he like never drank through like a lot of the beginning of his career. Then he started drinking like little bits of vodka, and it like helped his muscles end up relaxing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then end up helping his recovery somehow.
Yeah, yeah. It will help you relax, right? So that's a good thing, especially if you can't turn it off.
But why does alcohol affect your recovery negatively? Because I used to wear the Whoop,
Yeah,
and then anytime I would drink, it was like my recovery was shit.
way off. It disturbs the sleep. You can't get into deep sleep when you drink.
Okay, and that's when you're doing a lot of your
That's
recovery.
man. You get like 10. The circadian rhythm for the human body is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I think it was 10 to 2. I might get it backwards, but one of those blocks, I think 10 to 2 is physical repair of the body, and 2 to 6 is psychological repair. Like the body actually repairs itself. But you never get into those states of repair when you have alcohol in your system. So people think, oh, I sleep better when I drink, but you're not getting into the
It's not
recovery
good
sleep.
sleep.
So I think that's the main.
What do you think the ideal amount of sleep is for? Let's say for like us who are we're training multiple times a day.
So for you guys, and it's all individual, like anything. I would say whatever amount of sleep, like if you guys could feel great on 7 hours, then it'll be 7. If it takes 8, it takes 8. Like I know the rare night that I get 8, there's probably once or twice a year. My back hurts. So that's too
Same.
much for me.
Yeah, I remember when I first kind of like got in the UFC. I remember they showed this thing where like it's like a pro athlete should be sleeping like 10 hours a day, and like I would try and do that. And like I would feel worse. Like I'd almost feel like hungover, and like I'd be more achy. I feel like kind of 7 is kind of my sweet spot.
That seems to be a good sweet spot for most people.
Yeah.
There's one of the sleep books I read. They were talking about the rate of injury, how it does go up dramatically with athletes if they're not getting enough sleep, dramatically.
You could feel it. You could feel it. Like even if you're lifting weights, and you're on 5 hours of sleep, you feel a big difference.
Dude. Most people, I would say 7, right? Like it is a nice sweet spot. And you could get by less than that, but it doesn't mean you're optimal.
Yeah. Would you say there's a maximal time you shouldn't overrun?
Overrun?
Oversleep a maximal time?
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting into that, I can't. It's
10 plus.
Yeah,
10 plus,
that's just, I don't see why you would need that. Unless you're doing naps. If you're counting that, like I think naps are great for a training athlete. I think that, or just quiet time.
I think so too.
Yeah, I like naps.
I think naps are great.
Khabib was big on naps.
Naps are
He
great.
would train, sleep.
And the same thing. You don't want to nap too long.
For sure.
Because then you get into that deep, and it's hard to
get going again.
Yeah. So when I did the rare day when me and my wife get to lay down for a nap, if the kids are content, I'll make a point though. I won't lay there for more than like 20, 30 minutes. Because I know if I...
So I like to take like a nice like hour nap.
That's good. If you feel fine getting out of it, I know if I fall asleep...
It sucks no matter what.
Yeah.
It sucks. I feel like it sucks at 30 minutes. It sucks at an hour.
I feel like 30 though. I'm not really getting into sleep. Like I'm just kind of just relaxing. Closing
just
my
kind of
eyes
chilling for a little bit.
Like I'm not actually in a sleep almost.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I like that as well. Even just sometimes going into a dark room just to shut your nervous system off from all the the things it's intaking. You know what I mean? All the stimulus, on it. I find the benefits.
Do you guys, you know Dave Tate? You ever hear Dave Tate?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Me and my father watch him all the time.
Tate's great.
My dad. Yep.
He was a West Side guy, and then he opened his lead
Oh,
FTS.
yeah, I've heard it. Okay.
Tate's
I'm
the
familiar
man,
with
dude.
Tate, yeah.
So Tate, they did an interview with Buddy Morris. So study Buddy Morris. I think he's a strength coach now for the Cardinals again, Arizona Cardinals. Great strength coach, this guy. Joe DeFranco knows. Unbelievable. And he was talking about with the Russian athletes, this is going back to like the 80s, 70s.
Soviets.
Yeah. When they would start getting overtrained, what they would do is they would take them to the beach, their shoes off, go for a walk for 4 hours. We'll pick you back up over here. Just walking barefoot on the sand, listening to the ocean, and they would be completely
Is that like
recovered.
a grounding thing?
Grounding, just listening to the water is very calming on nervous system for most people, listening to the ocean, sunlight, and it'd be good.
That's great. That sounds great.
Yeah. So it's you can do
I
so
don't
many
like
things.
walking in the sand that much.
Do it on grassland or whatever.
Yeah, I like
I think
grass.
they probably
I
would
like
have gotten the
grass.
same thing, but it was just that's what they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going out there and just chill out and relax.
Yeah. You could feel that when you're doing it. Like I love walking on the beach, and you could feel,
I love being near water.
yeah.
man.
Like when I get back the next day from the beach, I'm ready to train.
Yeah.
I'm fully recovered. I'm ready to train hard.
That's the key is knowing what recharges you.
Mhm.
Right. So everyone's gonna have their own kind of personal.
Everyone's different.
Yeah.
And if you're more introverted, like we were saying, you recharge by being by yourself. You got to be mindful of that. You can't be extroverts recharge by being around other people. So you got to know which one you are more towards. Not that you're 100% one, but you know, and just being mindful, especially as athletes like you guys are, you know, the longevity, it'll be like, okay, just accumulating that knowledge and then applying it, and then it turns to wisdom. Okay, this is what I have to do.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That's it, man. We covered a lot then. Huh?
Hell yeah.
That was good, man.
Yeah, I got a boogie in a few. I got to go teach this little seminar.
All right, so tell people, where can people follow you?
So you can follow me. I'm at Mickey Gall, MickeyGall. And I have my own podcast. It's called The Slick and Thick Show with comedian Gerard Michaels. Super funny dude, super knowledgeable guy. But yeah, we got to get you guys. Obviously, LJ's overdue being on the show. And then we got to get you on either when we're up in New York or if you're down in South Florida anytime, come on. We'll get you on.
All right, man.
Yeah, it'd be good.
We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Talk some
Thank
shit.
you.
Have some fun.
That'll be good, man.
Yeah,
That'll be
100%.
good. What about you, LJ? Where can people follow you at?
Follow me on Instagram, LJ Reboli. The letters LJ Reboli. You know, follow me on there. Trying to stay more updated with my social media. You know what I mean?
You're gonna have to, man.
I
Big
know.
things coming.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to pick it
exactly.
up soon. Definitely gonna have to pick it up soon. But yeah, also make sure reach out like we were talking about before. If you're trying to get into martial arts or something, reach out to LJ right there, and you know you'll have a great coach that's will help you tremendously in your martial arts journey.
Yeah, thank you, Mick.
What age do you start with?
Man, like I mean,
like our boys are now 6 and soon to be 8.
Yeah. So I originally started.
But I'm saying, will you work with kids that young?
Oh, absolutely. I'll work with anybody. Yeah. I'll work if they could, listen and have somewhat understanding. I'll work. Even if they don't, I'll work with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like a teenager though, training grown men.
Yeah.
Because just because of his prowess and understanding and just how special he is at it. But and I think anybody any age would get a huge benefit.
Yeah. And also, if you're in the area, make sure you check out InnerStrength as well.
Thanks, man.
Kyle, he really is. Me and Mick trained around the world, the best strength guys, and Kyle's truly one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in the world for sure. He knows his stuff as well as anybody. So
appreciate that. It was
you know it,
good
man.
Workouts, man.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get before I go back to Florida, we're gonna have to get a nice workout in and a nice feast in.
Well, yeah, when you going back?
I go back on Sunday.
Sunday.
But I'll always be back.
Next time you come back,
because
we'll be hitting the shore Friday. We'll be down there for the weekend.
Right.
But when you let me know when you're coming back for the next one, we'll do that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know if I'm more excited about the workout or the feast, but I think we can have the best of both worlds.
Where would you want to eat?
You tell us. We got to do a feast.
We feast it up right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
do a proper Panda Man feast.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll go to Roots Chris or something. Get a nice tomahawk steak.
Oh, shit.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's
go. Say no more. Say no more. It's done.
We'll bring Mikey, man. We'll go get out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in for this episode. It's been a pleasure. Make sure you guys leave a review and share this episode with somebody that you think needs to hear it. Later, guys. Awesome.